First class we are talking about pituitary lab. So I want to give some introduction before going to the lab. Pituitary is a small gland about 500 milligram. 500 milligram is situated in the base of the brain. In the region is called the sella turcica. It is a small gland, but it is name is a master of the gland. It controls all the body gland. It's a small gland like a peanuts, like it's a peanut, 500 milligram. It is situated in the base of the brain. The region is called the sella turcica. It is slightly heavier in the females, slightly heavier in the females. By anatomic division, it is divided into two parts. One is anterior pituitary, another one is a posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is called adenohypophysis and posterior pituitary is called neurohypophysis. The anterior pituitary is divided into three many cells. Depending upon the staining characters, we are using the one staining material is called a hematoxyl and a eosine material. Divided into the chromophobe cells with the acidophilic granules, chromophobe cells with the basophilic granules, chromophobe cells without visible granules. In this anterior pituitary secreting some hormones. Anterior pituitary secreting some hormone. Important hormone is a prolactin. Growth hormone is prolactin. Prolactin is secreted by the lactotropic cells and growth hormone secreted by the growth hormone cells. Then another one is another division. Acidophilic, the basophilic cells secreted gonadotropic hormones, gonadotropic hormone, gonadotropic hormone,
growth hormone.
Hormones. These are the hormones secreted. How it is a tumor is coming? Usually the gland is very small, I told you, 500 milligram, slightly heavier in the females, but most commonly the tumor is in the pituitary adenoma. The most common tumor is adenoma. Don't forget. Most common tumor in the pituitary is adenoma, no carcinomas. In the pituitary adenoma is classified into the small adenoma, it is called microadenoma. It's a big adenoma, it is called macroadenoma. Some adenomas, the glands are enlarged, but no secretions of gland. It is called a silent adenoma. So the adenoma is classified into three types. Small gland adenoma is called microadenoma. More than 1 centimeter it's a macroadenoma. Some glands are big in size, but not secreting hormone. It is called a null cell adenoma or silent adenoma. Three types of adenoma. In these adenomas, the prolactinoma is the more common. Prolactinoma is the more common. Prolactin hormone secreted by the lactotropic hormones. It leads to amenorrhea, infertility, galactorrhea. Another most common tumor is a growth hormone. It produces a growth hormone adenoma. Now we will go to the lecture. So the symptoms related to the pituitary diseases related to the hypopituitarism or hyperpituitarism are chromosome. What is a hypopituitarism? Hypopituitarism means the hormone is reduced, decreased secretion of hormone. Whereas a hyperpituitarism is increased of hormones. So the increased of hormone more commonly seen in the hyperplasia of the gland, adenoma of the gland and carcinoma. So hypopituitarism means decreased hormone secretion. And hyperpituitarism means increased secretion. Sometime I told you, the gland only enlarged, but no secretion of material. It is called, what is called? Silent adenoma or null cell adenoma. These silent adenoma only give you the mass effect only mass. Visual defects, increased intracranial pressure, hydrocephalus and pituitary apoptosis. Coming to the definition. Hypopituitarism is a condition is characterized by the low levels of pituitary hormones. You understand? Hormones I told you. What are the hormones? Main prolactin, growth hormone, gonadotropic, corticotropic, thyrotropic hormone. And posterior pituitary secrete through hormone. One is anti-diuretic hormone and oxytocin. Right? Coming to the hypopituitarism. Hypopituitarism means usually caused by the loss of more than anterior pituitary parenchyma. 75% loss of anterior pituitary. I told you pituitary is a small gland. It is composed of 500 milligram. It is divided into anatomic part anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. In case of anterior pituitary gland, 75% is loss. It leads to hypothyroidism. Understand? 75% of the anterior pituitary is lost or destroyed, it leads to hypopituitarism. Main causes, congenital, maybe, but most common is a non-secreting pituitary adenoid. Gland only enlarged, but no secretion. Ischemic necrosis, the postpartum. It's called a Sheegan syndrome. Some pituitary by radiation, some surgical, empty cella syndrome, I will discuss later. Inflammatory drugs, lesions, sarcoidosis, tuberculosis, hypothalamic disorders. Coming to the hyposecretory, non-secretory adenoma. There is a swelling in the gland, but no secretion. It is called non-secretory adenoma, null cell adenoma, or silent adenoma. Understand? So the gradual enlargement of the tumor, there is a gradual enlargement of the tumor. It causes atrophy of the gland. Tumor is enlarging, but it destroys the normal tissue. It causes atrophy of the pituitary parenchyma with the subsequent hypopituitarism. Acute hemorrhages seen in the left. I told you, the tumor is enlarged. It destroys the tissue, but no secretion. Tumor is enlarged, no secretion. It causes atrophy of the gland. Finally, some hemorrhages will be coming. The same. Some hemorrhages will be coming in the tumor, causing the rapid enlargement is compression of the pituitary is called pituitary apoplexy. What is a pituitary apoplexy? Pituitary apoplexy, there is a tumor, no secretion, only enlargement, destroy the tissue, immediately acute hemorrhage is coming, there is a rapid enlargement. This rapid enlargement and compression of the pituitary gland is called pituitary. Now we understand? Again, I told you, yes. Pituitary gland is there. Pituitary gland, one tumor is starting. But this tumor not secreting any hormone, growth hormone, pituitary hormone, nothing hormone. But the gland only enlarged. If the tumor is enlarging, it will compress the normal tissue. Tumor is enlarged, compress the normal tissue. Tumor is enlarged, no secretion, but compress the normal tissue. This normal tissue becomes atrophy. Normal tissue atrophy because the tumor is enlarged. In the tumor, there is a hemorrhage is coming. In the tumor, there is a hemorrhage is coming. These hemorrhages coming, the rapid enlargement. The gland is becomes lice. But the normal tissue is here small. Tumor is, yes, normal tumor is compressed and atrophy, and tumor is enlarged and having a acute hemorrhage, rapid enlargement and compression of the pituitary. This condition is called pituitary apoplexy. Coming to the ischemic necrosis of the pituitary gland is called Sheegan syndrome. Ischemic necrosis of the anterior pituitary occurs in the postpartum after delivery of the patient. There is a necrosis of the pituitary gland. It is called ischemic necrosis. It is called Sheegan syndrome. Causes postpartum necrosis. What is a postpartum necrosis? After the delivery. After the delivery, mother is feeding the milk to the children. That time the mother is having some toxic fear. How to we have to give the milk, how to save the patient like this. The patient became a psychosis that time. You understand? After the delivery immediately, he fear how to give the milk, how to save the baby, how to, the body is, everything is, after the delivery it's weak. That time the postpartum necrosis occurs in the anterior pituitary gland. It causes Sheegan syndrome. There is ischemic necrosis. Pathology is ischemic necrosis. No blood supply in the anterior pituitary. During the postpartum period, it's called. Then disseminated intravascular coagulation, traumatic injury, and shock. Hypopituitarism, it is I told you, empty cella syndrome. What is empty cella syndrome? Results from any condition that destroys the pituitary gland. Any condition results from trauma, radiation, surgery. It is caused by the defect in the diaphragm cella. Diaphragm cella. I told you, pituitary gland, small gland, situated in the base of the brain. Situated in the base of the brain. The region is called cella. Cella. Out of the sphenoid. So in this case, this empty cella syndrome is caused by the defect in the diaphragmatic cella and herniation of the arachnoid meatum and vesicular. This is the thing. Now the gland is there. Now there is an opening is there. In the herniation, the arachnoid meatum is done. You understand? So it is caused by the defect in the diaphragm. Defect in the diaphragm. This is the diaphragm. there is a defect in there. There is an opening is there. Now it is going in arachnoid matter and CSF is going. It is called herniation. Herniation of the arachnoid matter and the CSF causing the compression of it. The pituitary is here, opening is there. From the opening, what is going? Arachnoid matter is going, CSF going. It is called herniation of the pituitary. It may be associated with the visual field defects and endocrine abnormalities, hyperprolactinemia. So the empty cellular syndrome is a syndrome. There is a defect in the diaphragm. In the diaphragm, there is a herniation of the arachnoid matter, and CSF, it leads to the compression of the pituitary. Effects of hypopituitarism. There is a hormone is less. Understand? Hormone is hypopituitarism means hormone is less. Lack of growth hormone, the person becomes small. Lack of growth hormone, person becomes small. It is the small condition is called dwarfism. What do you call? Dwarfism. The person, growth hormone no person. If the person is growth hormone more, what will be there? Person will be long. It is called the gigantism abnormal. Person will be long. So growth hormone slow, it is called dwarfism. Short stature, headache, the person is having headache. Excessive thirst, excessive urination. Lack of thyroid stimulating hormone, it leads to secondary hypothyroidism. Thyroid stimulating hormone is less, or the TSH is less, it causes the hypothyroidism. Early symptoms, weakness in the females more commonly. Thyroid stimulating hormone more commonly in the female. Reduction of thyroid stimulating hormone as the weakness, fatigue, cold internal. They will not allow the cold. If the cold will, they will not allow. Cold cannot tolerate. Weakness, fatigue, cold, constipation. Always they are suffering from constipation. Weight gain, depression, and thinning of hair. All is related to the hypopituitarism is due to the TSH low. Huh? Intolerance means there is a cold. Yes, I understand. I cannot control. I cannot withstand. You understand? Cold intolerance. They can withstand a heat intolerance. Heat, every heat they will allow. They can keep. They cannot. Her body metabolic disorder. It is a metabolic disorder. It is an endocrine disorder. The females, due to the reduction of thyroid stimulating hormone, he cannot control the cold. My wife is suffering from this disease. TSH is low, hypothyroidism. If any cold condition, she will allow. No cold, I will not allow. She put in more of blood. So she is afraid of cold. So it is called as cold intolerance. You understand now? Thyroid stimulating hormone is low. The condition is called hypothyroidism. Is having the thinning of the hair, depression, constipation, weakness, fatigue, and cold intolerance. Because of what hormone? Because of what hormone? TSH is less. It is secreted by the thyroid hormones. Then hypopituitarism, ACTH, antithyroid hormone is decreased. Associated with the cortisol, aldosterone, estrogen. Symptoms are weakness. You will be sleeping, I think. So I want to finish it here. Yes. Low blood pressure, low serum, and low blood pressure. Tomorrow I will take all the. You will be sleeping. I want to finish it earlier. Effects of hypopituitarism, lack of prolactin. It produces a decreased stimulation of the breasts. The breasts not getting a full development because of prolactin is less. So decreased stimulation of breast development and milk production in the female. Milk is less because of prolactin is less. You understand? Decrease of gonadotropin regulating hormone, amenorrhea, infertility in the woman, impotence, and loss of pubic hair and axillary hair. If the deficiency is coming, lack of prolactin in the male, axillary hair, pubic hair not morphing. For males, impotence and loss of pubic and axillary hair because of gonadotropin and gonadotropin regulating hormone. Coming to the antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone is especially useful in the reabsorption of water in the renal tubules. It is the effective maintenance of the osmolarity. If the deficiency is causing the increased urea, polyuria, increased urination, increased thirst, lack of oxytocin is causing the the oxytocin is essential for the contraction of the labor. The child will be coming immediately. That time this oxytocin is working. If there is a lack of oxytocin, the decreased labor will be there. The decreased stimulation of contraction of the uterus during labor and milk release from the breasts. What is this condition? What is this?
Giantism.
Is gigantism? Gigantism occurs in children and acromegaly occurs in the adult. Yes, see the condition. See how is the more height is associated with the growth hormone abnormality. You understand? How is the height? It's a tall, very tall. See, everybody see. So this is the condition. Corticotrophic adenoma, SCTH. Then yes, I will finish. This is the Cushing syndrome. Tomorrow morning I will take. Now I am going to the lab. So now, be clear. The pituitary tumors, more common tumor is adenoma, benign tumor, no malignancy. Understand? In the pituitary adenomas, the small adenomas less than 1 centimeter or 500 millimeter more is called microadenoma. More than 1 centimeter is called macroadenoma. Silent adenoma, what I told? The gland is enlarged, no secretion, is called silent adenoma or null cell adenoma. Coming to the X-ray of the skull, shows this is the expanded sella turcica. This is the area, region is called expanded sella turcica. Between the orbits, this is the orbit, between the orbit and radio disc mastoid and this is the tumor. This is the tumor. Pituitary adenoma. Pituitary adenoma is the most common. Understand? And morphology, it is a well circumferenced. Soft lesions. And confined to the sella turcica. Only small, confined to the sella turcica. A larger lesion, it can extend to the supercellular region, another region. Non-encapsulate, no capsule in the tumor and infiltrate to the adjacent. So well circumferenced, soft lesion, it is present in the sella turcica. If it is big, it is going to the supercellular region and non-encapsulated sometimes may infiltrate the adjacent bone. See, this is the tumor. See, pituitary adenoma, this is the sella turcica. See, this is a circumferenced mass, rounded, circumferenced and no capsule. It is situated in the sella turcica. Coming to the sim, the size is small. Here see the size is big. So greater than 1 centimeter. What do you call? It is a macroadenoma. That's all. Same thing. Macroadenoma situated and well circumferenced and soft lesions and situated in the sella turcica. Coming to this tumor is big but no secretion. What do you call? Silent adenoma or null cell adenoma. Pituitary adenoma is there, but it's a big. This tumor will compress the normal tissue. It leads to atrophy. You understand? The tumor is big, but normal tissue will compress. So the bone far beyond confines to the sella turcica. Here it's the sella turcica, and distorted the overlying brain. The another brain structure is altered, larger at the time of diagnosis than secreted hormone. No secretion of hormone, but the tumor is big. Tumor is big, but no secretion of hormone and distorts the brain. It's a non-functional pituitary item. Another name. Non-functional, no functional. No.
Doctor, if we see this picture, how we would know it's silent?
If the patient comes to you, take a hormone analysis. The hormone analysis becomes a normal. Pituitary hormone levels are normal. Growth hormone normal, prolactin normal, corticotropic hormone, thyrotropic hormone, gonadotropic, all hormone levels are normal.
An example.
Yes, it is called a non-functional adenoma. Functional means the hyperpituitarism will be there. Functional means hyper.
Like the micro.
It's a macroadenoma. It is a macroadenoma, but it's a non-functional adenoma.
So, if you want to differentiate between macroadenoma, we have to do hormone analysis
and CT, then MRI. All these investigation we can do. Take the patient by X-ray, then CT, computed tomography, then MRI, then biochem analysis. 4 analyses will be taken. Then physical examination, then clinical findings. Fine. You have to examine the patient first. there is a swelling is there, pituitary, small swelling microadenoma, big swelling is a macroadenoma, but it is a macro, big adenoma. But non-functional, what is a non-functional? No secretion of hormones. Coming to the microscopic, how it is appears microscopic? Small uniform cells, round, all children are, see, all are uniform now. Only few persons are tall persons, all are uniform. Uniform and polygonal cells, this is the polygonal cells. Polygonal cells arranged in sheets, cords, papillae, supporting connective tissue material is called reticulin, mitotic artery is scanty, cytoplasm is acidophilic, is a reddish, basophilic bluish and chromophore mixed color, cellular monomorphism and the absence of reticulin fibers. Distinguished from the pituitary adenoma from the non-neoplastic anterior pituitary. See, this is very easy to identify. Small round cells, round to polygonal cells, arranged in sheets and cords, separated by the reticulin fibers. See, this is the reticulin fibers. Supporting connective tissue, reticulin spars, no mitotic activity, no cell divisions. Cytoplasm acidophilic. Basophilic means bluish color, acidophilic means a pink color. So the cells are round, polygonal, arranged in sheets and cords, separated by the reticulin spars. Between the reticulin is a sparse material. You can see in the
What
other
do
microscope.
you call it? Slide.
Huh?
What name is it? Slide.
It's a pituitary adenoma. There is a name.
Just
Yes, just pituitary. Coming to the same thing. However, what is the difference between this one and this one?
color.
Yes. It's more eosinophilic, it's a more basophilic. Basophilic is a blue color. Say same small round cell with the small round nuclei, small round cell, small round nuclei, blue cytoplasm.
The same name?
Same pituitary adenoma. Pituitary adenoma. And cells are arranged in sheets and cords and nests. Prominent vascularity. What is a vascularity? There is a blood. There is a blood cells are there. In this, there is no vascularity, but here prominent vascularity. Vascularity means dilatation of the small blood vessels. Dilatation of this small blood. See, there is a dilatation of small blood vessel. Here, all dilatation of small blood vessel. Coming to the last slide, corticotropic adenoma. What is a corticotropic adenoma? The corticotropic hormone produces what?
Antidiuretic.
ACTH. ACTH. What do you call? Adrenocorticotropic hormone. It produces a Cushing syndrome. Belly is there. Tomorrow I will see the picture. The corticotropic cell pituitary adenoma is having a uniform population of vacuolated cells. See, the cells are vacuolated. You understand? Cells are vacuolated, not the previous cells. But these cells are vacuolated cells as a result of accumulation of the glycosylated adrenocorticotropic protein is present. You understand? Adrenocorticotropic accumulation of glycosylated ACTH protein is seen in the vacuolated cells. So the corticotropic, this slide is coming for the example. First you identify difference between the previous adenoma. See, if this is coming, how do you identify? Uniform cells. Uniform cell supporting reticulin work and cytoplasm acidophilic. Here the uniform cell is prominent vascularity. This is the difference, prominent vascularity. And third one is the vacuolated cells. In this vacuolation, what it contains? It contains of glycosylated ACTH protein is there. So this is the thing. So if we producing a syndrome is called excess cortisol. Excess cortisol. It is called a Cushing syndrome. The Cushing syndrome clinical effects are increased glucocorticoid hormone producing cortisols. So increased production of ACTH producing Cushing syndrome. It's a truncal obesity. There is obesity is there. Truncal obesity, moon face, and fat deposits in the supraclavicular fossa, and hypertension, amenorrhea in females, impotence in the males, easy bruising, maximal muscle weakness, osteoporosis, diabetes mellitus, hyperpigmentation, hypovolemic, all are due to the clinical effects of increased glucocorticoid hormone. All causes of excess cortisol. What is a Cushing disease means? ACTH producing pituitary adenoma. So tomorrow I will take in the lab. No carcinomas. In the pituitary adenomas, most common tumor is a prolactinomas, followed by the growth hormone adenoma. The adenoma is the most common in the pituitary tumor. No carcinomas. Carcinomas are rare. But the most common adenoma is a prolactinoma, is the 30%, and 20% growth hormone adenoma. In the prolactinoma is producing amenorrhea, lactorrhea. Is amenorrhea they are producing, infertility, loss of libido. In growth hormone adenoma, two things are there. One is a gigantism before epiphyseal closure and acromegaly and after the epiphyseal closure. Two things. And thyroid stimulating hormone, if it is low, it is called thyroid hypothyroidism. So gonadotropic hormones LH and FSH deficiency, it leads to the deficiency in the milk production, deficiency in the contraction. So all these things are there. So the pituitary, you have to see the pituitary microadenoma, macroadenoma, non-functional adenoma, and non-null cell adenoma. That's all.
Thank you.